The massive screen in Earth's Defense Command Center turned bright red as alarms blared through the facility. Admiral Robert Walker stood frozen, his coffee cup halfway to his lips, as he stared at the incoming data. The deep space sensors had picked up something impossible. Over 10,000 alien ships moving toward Earth at faster than light speeds. "Show me the fleet's path," Walker ordered, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. The screen changed to show a three-dimensional map of space, with a red line cutting straight through it toward Earth. The room fell silent as technicians and officers realized what they were seeing. This wasn't a peaceful delegation or a trading fleet. The formation was too tight, too organized. This was an invasion force. Walker placed his coffee down and pressed the button that would connect him to the Galactic Council's emergency channel. Earth had joined the wider galactic community just 5 years ago, and while they kept most of their advanced technology hidden, they maintained diplomatic ties. The holographic face of Council Leader Smith appeared, his blue-tinted alien features showing clear annoyance at the unexpected call. "Earth representative, why do you activate the emergency channel?" Smith's voice carried the same dismissive tone he always used with humans. "Council Leader, we've detected a massive fleet approaching our system," Walker said, sending the sensor data through the connection. "Over 10,000 ships in attack formation. We request immediate Council intervention under the peace treaties." Smith barely glanced at the data before waving his hand dismissively. "Your primitive sensors are clearly malfunctioning. No such fleet exists in that sector. The Council has full awareness of all military movements in the galaxy." Walker felt his jaw tighten. "With all due respect, our sensors are not primitive, and this fleet is very real. They'll reach our system in less than 48 hours. "Ah yes, your famous human paranoia," Smith said with a cold smile. "Always seeing threats where none exist. The Council has more important matters to address than the fearful imaginings of a newly spacefaring race. Council Leader, please, at least send observers to verify." "This discussion is over," Smith cut in. "Do not abuse the emergency channel again, or Earth's membership status may need to be reviewed." The connection cut off, leaving Walker staring at empty air. He turned to his second-in-command, Jane Miller, who had watched the exchange with growing anger. "They're not going to help us," she said quietly. "No," Walker agreed, straightening his uniform. "And that fleet belongs to the Dominion. The Council might not admit it, but we've seen their attack patterns before." Miller nodded grimly. "Should we send another message?" Walker walked to the main console and began typing. The message was short, but every word carried the weight of humanity's determination. "To the Galactic Council, you have chosen to ignore our warning. You dismiss us as primitive, as paranoid, as beneath your notice. Remember this moment. Remember that we tried to work within your system. Remember that we asked for peace first. Whatever happens next is not on our hands. You ignore us at your own peril." He sent the message and then opened a secure channel to Earth's hidden defense network. "This is Admiral Walker. Authorization code, Delta 7 Phoenix. Activate Project Darkstar. This is not a drill." Across the solar system, hidden stations began powering up. Cloaked satellites emerged from their camouflaged positions. Deep within Earth's moon, automated factories started producing quantum-based weapon systems that the Council had never imagined possible. As Walker watched the defense grid come online, he allowed himself a small smile. The Dominion thought they were attacking the helpless primitive world. The Council thought Earth was a weak new addition to their political games. They were all about to learn just how wrong they were. The next 24 hours on Earth moved like a perfectly oiled machine. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Project Darkstar's command center hummed with activity as Admiral Walker watched humanity's true power unfold. "Status report." He called out to the room of operators, each monitoring different aspects of Earth's hidden defense network. "Quantum platforms 1 through 500 are online," reported Tom Wilson, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Neptune Defense Ring is active and cloaked. Mary Roberts, head of weapons systems, spoke next. Solar observation posts confirm the Dominion fleet's approach. Their formation suggests they're planning a standard overwhelming force attack. They still think we're defenseless. Walker allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had planned for this day for over a century. While they showed the galaxy primitive rockets and basic space stations, they had secretly built the most advanced defensive network ever created. "Show me the Dark Star grid," Walker ordered. The main screen lit up with thousands of small points of light scattered throughout the solar system. Each point represented a quantum weapon platform, invisible to standard scanners and capable of stopping any known form of faster-than-light travel. Lieutenant Davis approached with a tablet showing the latest intelligence. "Sir, we've decoded more of their communications. The Dominion Fleet Commander is Admiral Marcus. He's known for quick, brutal conquests of developing worlds." "Well, he's in for a surprise," Walker said, studying the tactical display. "Status of civilian evacuation. Underground cities are at 90% capacity," Miller reported. "The public still thinks it's just another drill. Surface defense shields are ready to activate the moment the Dominion enters Mars orbit." Walker nodded and opened a channel to all Earth defense stations. "This is Admiral Walker. In less than 12 hours, the largest invasion fleet in galactic history will enter our solar system. They expect to find an easy target. Instead, they'll find humanity's true face." He paused, looking at the determined faces around him. "For 100 years, we've hidden our strength. We've played the part of the primitive species while building the most advanced defensive system ever created. The Dominion thinks they're the hunters. We're about to show them they're the prey." Deep in space, Earth's quantum platforms adjusted their positions. Each one contained technology that would shock the Galactic Council if they had bothered to look closer at the species they dismissed. "Sir," Miller called out, "we're detecting Council observation ships at the edge of the system." They finally decided to investigate. "Too late," Walker replied. "Send them one last message. You had your chance to listen. Now watch and learn." The next few hours passed in focused preparation. Weapons were checked, backup systems verified, and emergency protocols reviewed. Earth's surface looked peaceful and primitive, but beneath that calm exterior waited the most sophisticated trap ever created. When the first Dominion ships appeared at the edge of the solar system, humanity was ready. The time for hiding was over. The time for revelation had begun. The Dominion fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel near Jupiter, their 10,000 ships blocking out the stars behind them. Admiral Marcus stood on his command ship's bridge, watching the primitive solar system with cold amusement. "Status report on the Earth defenses," he ordered his second-in-command. "Exactly as intelligence reported, sir," Officer Reed replied with a smirk. "Basic orbital satellites. Primitive missile systems. No energy shields detected. Their most advanced weapons are nuclear missiles, completely useless against our ships." Marcus nodded, studying the blue planet on his main screen. The Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds, but Earth had a special appeal. The humans had somehow managed to join the Galactic Council despite their obvious technological weakness. Taking their world would send a clear message about the true balance of power in the galaxy. "Sir," Reed called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the Council observation ships." "Ignore them," Marcus ordered. "They're only here to document another Dominion victory." "What about Earth? Are they begging for mercy yet?" "No, sir. They've sent no messages since we entered the system. Their military appears to be in complete chaos. Their ships are scrambling without any clear pattern." Marcus laughed. This was almost disappointing. He'd hoped the humans would at least try to fight back. "Launch scout ships, standard invasion pattern." 50 smaller ships detached from the main fleet, speeding toward Earth. They passed Mars without detecting any defenses, their sensors showing only the abandoned human colonies on the red planet. In Earth's hidden command center, Admiral Walker watched the Dominion fleet's approach with growing anticipation. Every move they made followed the exact patterns Earth had studied for decades. "They've launched scouts," Miller reported. "Exactly as predicted." Walker nodded. "Status of quantum grid. All platforms in position, sir. Ready to activate on your command." The scout ships passed the asteroid belt, their crews relaxed and confident. Earth's primitive sensors couldn't even detect ships this small. They were completely invisible to such basic technology. Or so they thought. "Sir," one of the scout commanders called to Marcus, "we're detecting some unusual energy readings from Earth's moon. It might be worth investigating." "Probably their attempt at an early warning system," Marcus dismissed. "Proceed with the invasion. I want this world under Dominion control within 24 hours." The massive fleet began moving forward as one, their weapons powering up. On 10,000 ships, crews prepared for another easy conquest. None of them noticed the slight shimmer in space as Earth's quantum platforms tracked their every move. Walker watched the enemy fleet approach their trap and sent one final message to his command staff. "Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. And remember, we only need to spring the trap once." The greatest surprise in galactic history was about to unfold. The Dominion fleet approached Mars orbit with unstoppable confidence. Admiral Marcus stood proudly on his bridge, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His 10,000 ships moved in perfect formation, weapons charged and ready to bring another primitive world under Dominion control. "Sir," Officer Reed called out, "the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. Should I play it?" Marcus nodded, curious about Earth's final words before surrender. Admiral Walker's voice filled the bridge, calm and clear. "Dominion fleet, you have entered restricted space. Turn back now. This is your only warning." The bridge crew burst into laughter. Marcus smiled coldly. "Send our standard response." Reed transmitted the message that had broken the will of countless worlds. "Surrender or be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to decide." In Earth's command center, Walker listened to the Dominion's threat with a grim smile. "They're in position. All stations report ready." "Yes, sir," Miller confirmed. "Quantum grid is charged, waiting for your command." Walker pressed a button, opening a channel to the Council observation ships. "To the Galactic Council, watch carefully. The lesson begins now." He took a deep breath, then gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. "Activate the quantum entanglement field." Across the solar system, hidden platforms came to life. In an instant, invisible energy waves connected them all, creating a web of quantum energy that no modern technology could detect or resist. On the Dominion flagship, the first sign of trouble came when their faster-than-light engines suddenly failed. Then their communication systems went dead. Then their weapons lost power. "What's happening?" Marcus demanded, watching system after system shut down. "Get me fleet-wide communications." "Sir, we can't." Reed's voice shook with growing fear. "We can't contact any other ships. All quantum communications are dead. We're trapped." Around them, the seemingly empty space flickered as Earth's defense platforms decloaked. Thousands of advanced weapons stations appeared, surrounding the Dominion fleet in a perfect sphere of technology, far beyond anything the galaxy had seen. Walker's voice came through their speakers again. "Quantum entanglement complete. Your ships are now frozen in space. Your weapons are useless. Your fate rests entirely in our hands." On the Council observation ships, the Watchers stared in shock as Earth revealed its true power. The primitive species they had dismissed had just trapped the galaxy's most powerful fleet like insects in amber. Marcus stood speechless on his bridge, finally understanding the truth. They hadn't walked into a conquest. They'd walked into a trap centuries in the making. And now, there was nothing they could do but watch as humanity showed them exactly what they were capable of. The stunned silence on Admiral Marcus's bridge was broken by a new hologram appearing before them. Admiral Walker stood tall, his uniform bearing insignias, the Dominion had never seen before. "Let me show you what you've ignored," Walker said calmly. Around the Dominion fleet, space itself seemed to transform. Hidden stations emerged from beneath Mars's surface. The red planets, abandoned colonies, shimmered and revealed themselves as massive defense installations. Earth's moon cracked open along invisible seams, exposing weapon systems that made the Dominion's best technology look primitive. "Impossible," Marcus whispered. "The Council's surveys showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Walker finished. "While you saw our chemical rockets, we built quantum drives. While you laughed at our satellites, we created a defense grid that spans the solar system. While you dismissed us as primitive, we prepared." On the Council observation ships, the Watchers frantically recorded everything. The species they had mocked as backwards was revealing technology that violated everything they thought they knew about scientific progress. "Our quantum entanglement field," Walker continued, "has locked your ships in place. Your weapons cannot fire. Your engines cannot move. Your quantum communications are useless. You are, to put it simply, at our mercy." Marcus found his voice at last. "If you had this power, why hide it? Why pretend to be weak?" Walker's hologram smiled. "Because we learned from history. Every time a powerful civilization meets a weaker one, the result is conquest. So we hid our strength. We played the role you expected. And we watched as you showed us exactly who you were." The hologram expanded, showing Earth's full defensive capabilities. Quantum platforms that could freeze entire fleets, weapons that could dismantle ships at the atomic level, defense systems that could redirect the power of the sun itself. "We tried to warn you," Walker said. "We tried to work within the Council's rules. You chose to ignore us. Now you face a choice. You can remain as you are, frozen in space, a monument to the cost of arrogance. Or, Marcus asked, his voice barely a whisper, "or you can carry our message back to your leaders. Tell them what you've seen here. Tell them that Earth is not what they thought. Tell them that the next fleet to enter our space uninvited will not be shown such mercy." The Council observers watched in awe as humanity revealed its final, most shocking truth. They had never been the primitive species joining galactic civilization. They had been the advanced civilization allowing the galaxy to find them. And now, everyone would know it. Admiral Walker stood in Earth's command center, watching the holographic display of the trapped Dominion fleet. The time had come to show the galaxy exactly what humanity could do. "Begin the Dark Star demonstration," he ordered. Around the frozen Dominion ships, Earth's quantum platforms began to pulse with bright blue energy. The Council observation vessels recorded everything as streams of light connected the platforms, forming complex geometric patterns in space. "What are they doing?" Admiral Marcus demanded, watching the light show from his helpless flagship. No one on his bridge could answer. They had never seen technology like this before. The quantum field surrounding the Dominion fleet suddenly changed color, shifting from invisible to a deep purple. Then, ship by ship, the mighty Armada began to transform. "First phase complete," Miller reported to Walker. "Quantum stasis field is stable, beginning molecular reconstruction." The Dominion crews watched in horror as their ship's outer hulls turned transparent, revealing the complex machinery within. But they weren't being destroyed. They were being changed. Walker's voice echoed through every ship. "Watch carefully. This is what real power looks like." With a wave of his hand, the quantum field pulsed again. Every weapon on every Dominion ship dissolved, their atoms reorganizing into harmless materials. 10,000 warships became defenseless in an instant. "Impossible," a Council observer whispered. "This violates every law of physics we know." "Your laws," Walker responded to the observers. "Not ours." The demonstration continued. Earth's platforms began moving the fleet like pieces on a chessboard, arranging 10,000 ships into a perfect spiral. Each ship was intact, its crew unharmed, but completely under Earth's control. "We could destroy you," Walker announced to the fleet. We could take your ships apart atom by atom. We could send you into the sun or to the edge of the galaxy. But we are not like you. We do not destroy simply because we can. In the Dominion flagship, Marcus watched his mighty fleet dance to Earth's tune. Everything he had believed about humanity's place in the galaxy was wrong. They weren't primitives playing at civilization. They were giants who had been watching, waiting, and preparing. The display is complete, Walker finally announced. Remember what you've seen here. Remember what happens when you underestimate Earth. Remember that we chose mercy when we had the power to choose anything else. The galaxy would never be the same after this day. The giants had finally stopped pretending to be small. The quantum field around the Dominion fleet slowly faded to transparency. Admiral Walker watched from Earth's command center as 10,000 ships hung motionless in space, their crews still processing what they had witnessed. Release the fleet, Walker ordered. Let them take our message home. One by one, the ships regained power. Engines hummed to life. Quantum communications returned. But the weapons remained transformed, a permanent reminder of Earth's power. Dominion fleet, Walker broadcast. You are free to leave. Your weapons have been permanently converted. Your ships will carry you home. But they will never again serve as instruments of conquest. On the flagship's bridge, Admiral Marcus stood in silence. His mighty Armada, pride of the Dominion, had been reduced to passenger vessels by technology he couldn't even understand. The Council observation ships approached Earth, their signals now humble and respectful. Earth Command. The Council leader's voice shook slightly. We request an immediate diplomatic conference. Denied. Walker replied calmly. You had your chance for diplomacy. Now you will listen. The holographic displays activated across every ship in the system. Earth's true face was finally revealed. Massive orbital cities cloaked from view, quantum gates connecting planets, energy systems that harnessed the power of stars. For centuries, we watched the galaxy. We saw how the strong dominated the weak. We saw how the Council ignored injustice when it suited them. So we hid. We waited. We prepared. Walker's voice carried the weight of human history. Today's demonstration was a message, not just to the Dominion, but to every civilization that thinks conquest is their right. Earth will not bow. Earth will not submit. And Earth will no longer hide. The Dominion fleet began their long journey home, their ships now monuments to human power. The Council observers transmitted everything they had seen, changing the galaxy's balance of power in an instant. As the last ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Walker sent one final message to the Council. Next time, listen when we speak. The consequences of ignorance will not always be so gentle. Humanity had finally revealed its true face to the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same.